In the quiet hours of an ordinary week, a chilling story began. Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, was reported missing. The peaceful suburb was suddenly thrust into chaos as neighbors watched police cars and news vans gather outside the Guthrie home. The sense of safety that once defined the neighborhood was shattered in an instant. The discovery of a ransom note sent shockwaves nationwide. News outlets scrambled to cover the story, and the public was gripped by fear and curiosity. The note's chilling message made it clear that this was no ordinary disappearance. This wasn't a typical kidnapping. The note demanded a large sum in Bitcoin, not cash, and set a strict deadline. The use of cryptocurrency was both bold and baffling, signaling a new era of digital crime that few were prepared for. The criminals believed cryptocurrency would shield their identities, leveraging the digital world to their advantage. They operated in the shadows, confident the technology would keep them hidden from law enforcement. For the Guthrie family and the public, the mention of Bitcoin added confusion and fear. Many had only heard of cryptocurrency in passing, and now it was at the center of a terrifying ordeal. The digital demand made the situation feel even more unpredictable. The kidnappers assumed that by using a digital currency, they could vanish without a trace. They believed the anonymity of the internet would protect them, making it nearly impossible for anyone to follow their tracks. But this was a critical miscalculation. Law enforcement now has powerful tools to follow digital money. Advances in technology have given investigators new ways to trace even the most complex cryptocurrency transactions. The case became a top priority, with a specialized team of investigators treating it as both a kidnapping and a cybercrime. Experts in digital forensics and traditional detectives joined forces, determined to bring Nancy home safely. The ransom note's Bitcoin demand was the first major clue, opening a door into the perpetrator's world. Investigators knew that every digital transaction left a footprint, no matter how faint. Investigators' first task followed the digital money trail, hoping it would lead straight to Nancy Guthrie and her captors. The race was on, and every second counted as they navigated the complex world of cybercrime in search of answers. To understand how investigators could track a Bitcoin ransom, we first need to know what Bitcoin actually is, and why it's become such a significant part of the digital world. Bitcoin is a form of digital money, completely decentralized, meaning it isn't controlled by any government, central authority, or bank. It operates on a vast global network of computers, which work together to process and verify transactions. This structure makes it appealing to people who value privacy, including those who want to move money outside traditional systems, sometimes for legitimate reasons, and sometimes for criminal activity. Instead of a traditional bank account, Bitcoin users have a digital wallet, which comes with a unique string of letters and numbers called an address. Transactions are sent from one wallet address to another, and each transaction is verified by the network before it's added to the system. Many people believe Bitcoin is completely anonymous, but in reality, it's pseudonymous. Every transaction is permanently recorded on a public ledger called the blockchain. Your wallet address acts as a mask, hiding your real identity. But if your identity is ever connected to your wallet, your entire transaction history, every payment you've ever made or received, can be traced and exposed. This public yet pseudonymous nature is both Bitcoin's greatest appeal and its biggest vulnerability, especially for those trying to stay hidden. Criminals often think they're invisible, but the permanent, transparent record of transactions creates a digital trail that can be followed by skilled investigators. In the Guthrie case, this digital breadcrumb trail would become the investigators' most valuable asset, offering clues that could ultimately crack the case wide open. Every Bitcoin transaction is recorded on the blockchain, a public, permanent digital ledger. Each transaction includes wallet addresses, amounts, and timestamps, visible to anyone worldwide. This transparency is a double-edged sword. It allows the system to function without a central authority, but also exposes criminal activity. Law enforcement doesn't need special access. The evidence is already public. When the kidnappers provided a Bitcoin wallet in their ransom note, they handed investigators a crucial lead. Analysts could immediately examine the wallet's history and connections. Every transaction linked to that address is permanently etched into the blockchain, mapping the criminal's financial moves. Unlike cash, which leaves no record, Bitcoin's trail is forever. Investigators can use this data to connect dots and uncover networks, turning the criminal's tool of anonymity against them. Ransom demands have evolved with technology. Gone are the days of exchanging cash at a park bench. Now, criminals demand digital payments to avoid physical risk. Bitcoin seems ideal for extortion, fast, borderless, and perceived as anonymous. The Guthrie kidnappers believed they could move funds through multiple wallets, muddying the trail. But digital currency changes the nature of evidence. Every transaction is a permanent public data point. In trying to avoid the risks of a physical drop, the criminals created a digital footprint. Their every move was recorded, providing investigators with a new kind of evidence. The very technology they used to hide was also the key to exposing them. With the kidnappers' Bitcoin address in hand, investigators began their digital pursuit. Using blockchain analysis tools, they monitored the address in real time, tracking every movement of funds. Criminals often move money through a web of wallets, a process called layering, to confuse trackers. But every transaction is public, allowing analysts to map the entire network. Visualization tools reveal patterns, showing how funds are split, merged, or laundered. Investigators cross-reference addresses with databases of known illicit wallets, potentially linking the crime to larger networks. Each transaction adds a piece to the puzzle, revealing the criminal's laundering strategy. While the criminals think they're hiding, they're actually creating a detailed map of their actions. The goal: follow the money until it re-enters the real world. That's when the digital trail can lead to a real arrest. Despite its digital nature, Bitcoin can't buy groceries or pay rent in most places. Criminals must eventually convert it to traditional money, a process called cashing out. This usually happens at a cryptocurrency exchange, where Bitcoin is traded for dollars or euros. When the Guthrie kidnappers try to cash out, investigators are ready. Moving Bitcoin to an exchange is a critical mistake. Exchanges are regulated and must know their customers. The moment funds hit an exchange, analysts see it and alert law enforcement. Now, the digital trail leads directly to a company that can identify the account holder. The criminals' attempt to spend their ransom money becomes their undoing. Cashing out at an exchange is risky for criminals because of KYC, know your customer regulations. Legitimate exchanges require users to provide personal information and government-issued ID. This data is stored and can be accessed by law enforcement with a subpoena. When investigators trace stolen Bitcoin to an exchange account, they can legally demand the user's identity. In the Guthrie case, sending ransom Bitcoin to an exchange would be the kidnapper's downfall. The exchange, bound by law, must cooperate and reveal the account holder's details. The perceived anonymity of Bitcoin vanishes, replaced by a name and address. The digital chase ends with a real-world arrest, thanks to these regulations. Tracing Bitcoin isn't always straightforward. Savvy criminals use tricks to complicate the chase. They might split transactions into hundreds of smaller pieces, or use multiple wallets to throw investigators off their trail. Each new tactic adds another layer of difficulty for law enforcement, who must keep up with ever-evolving methods. Cryptocurrency moves fast. Funds can cross borders and blockchains in minutes, requiring rapid response. Investigators must act quickly, often coordinating with international partners to keep up with the pace of digital transactions that can disappear in the blink of an eye. Some criminals use non-compliant exchanges in countries with lax regulations, making subpoenas difficult to enforce. These jurisdictions may not cooperate with foreign law enforcement, creating safe havens for illicit funds and making investigations drag on for months or even years. Others use mixers or tumblers, services that blend coins for many users, breaking the chain of traceability. These tools are designed to obscure the origin of funds, making it nearly impossible to tell where the money truly came from. These tools make it harder to link dirty coins to clean ones, adding complexity to investigations. Every new layer of obfuscation means more time and resources spent trying to untangle the web of transactions. Blockchain analysis firms are developing ways to pierce these veils. But it's a constant race. As soon as one method is cracked, new privacy tools and techniques emerge, forcing investigators to adapt and innovate. Even non-compliant exchanges can provide clues, and the goal is always to follow the money as far as possible. Sometimes a single overlooked transaction can break a case wide open, so attention to detail is critical. Eventually, digital currency must re-enter the real world, where criminals are most vulnerable. Whether it's cashing out at an ATM or buying luxury goods, these moments create opportunities for law enforcement to strike. Investigators must be faster and smarter, leveraging technology to untangle complex webs. Collaboration, advanced analytics, and relentless determination are all essential in the fight against crypto-enabled crime. The battle is ongoing, but the digital trail is always there, waiting to be followed. With every new case, law enforcement learns and adapts, determined to stay one step ahead in the digital age. The Nancy Guthrie case shows how technology is a double-edged sword, empowering both criminals and law enforcement. Cryptocurrency gave the kidnappers a sense of security, but the blockchain's transparency became their undoing. Investigators used sophisticated tools to track every move in real time. The truth: Bitcoin isn't anonymous, and exchanges are choke points where digital identities meet the real world. As our world becomes more digital, understanding these technologies is crucial for public safety. Blockchain forensics is a growing field, helping law enforcement unmask those who hide behind wallet addresses. The story isn't just about new currency, it's about the ongoing struggle between lawbreakers and those who pursue justice. In the digital age, every transaction leaves a footprint, making it harder than ever to get away with crime.